I want to thank the Fiesta Bowl and all of their volunteers and PlayStation. You know, the bowl system is, as much as it's changed and morphed and lots of changes probably still in the system, it's something that's really special, obviously, to each of the communities where they operate in, and I think it's something that's really unique for generation after generation of football student athletes at all of our institutions. So we appreciate the opportunity to come to Arizona and get out of Pennsylvania this time of year, and we also appreciate the opportunity for our student athletes to play one more time, and at a place like Penn State, for our community to have the opportunity to gather and be together at this time of year and coalesce around Penn State football as an opportunity to celebrate as a community is always a great thing for us.
Sandy, to get to back-to-back New Year's Six games, top 10 ranking, just all the exposure the program is getting, how valuable is that, tangibly and intangibly?
You know, as an athletic director, what you always want is for the institution to recognize the value, the importance, the benefits that accrue to the university and its adjacent community from successful intercollegiate athletics, and you're seeing that at Penn State. You always have, and we're back to a point where the kind of vibe that's coming off of Penn State football is a real enhancement to the university. And New Year's Day 6 bowls, the opportunity to win 11 games 2 years in a row, I think speaks volumes about James Franklin's leadership of our football program, where we're headed, the efforts of our student athletes, and certainly the efforts of literally hundreds, and ultimately when you start talking about the support from our alumni, you're talking about literally thousands who've made this possible.
Sandy, you just talked about how much there's still a climb to go here, that you're in good position, but there's a climb. How close is the program to where you want it to be?
Well, first of all, if you ever start thinking you're there, you're automatically behind. You know, I think the one thing that we don't talk very much about anymore, and that is our depth, and I think that we're getting close to being at a point where the sanctions, we've recovered from the scholarship sanctions, so I think that we might be getting close to. But you all know this is a really dynamic environment, particularly college football. College athletics is a very dynamic environment, but college football in particular. And you know, I don't know that you ever get there. I think the health and welfare of our student athletes and the program itself is the utmost priority and the utmost importance. That depth issue has always been huge, so to kind of get to stasis there, I think is really important. But we've got to constantly be evaluating where we are in the competitive landscape.
Sandy, did this level of on-field success come more quickly than maybe you anticipated? I know we asked you about that last year, but when you go to New Year's Six 2 years in a row, that's an indicator of stability as well.
Absolutely, which is obviously a very positive thing. You know, I think it's hard to say too soon. Obviously, a year ago, September of 2016, I believed this was where we were headed. Did I think it was going to come later in that year and then be followed up by another year like that? I probably, if I were honest with you, wouldn't say that I would think that it would come at that point in time. But this is where we've been headed all along.
Sandy, what's it mean to you that both athletic departments at these two schools are led by females?
Well, I think it means that from a gender standpoint, we're making strides. But both Jen Cohen and I, who are both very good friends, want this to be about our football programs and about our football student athletes, our institutions, our coaches, and our staffs that have done all of the work. Jen and I just happen to be the leaders of these programs.
Sandy, we asked you last year out in California about the selection process for the playoff. happened this year, is there anything that has changed your perspective on non-conference scheduling moving forward?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge. You know, I've been asked a lot in the last month about, well, do I think we got it? Do they think that the playoff committee got it right? Is the playoff structured correctly? From an institutional standpoint, I still think the biggest challenge is what signals does the committee send? What guidance is the college football playoff giving us from a non-conference scheduling standpoint? Because obviously what we want to do is put ourselves in the best position to be selected every year, to be in the conversation, to be selected. And I will say this: I think there have been mixed signals. So that does make it difficult in giving us direction. So I think, given we're now in year 4, the Pac-12's been left out twice. The Big 12 has been left out twice. And I shouldn't say left out, not represented. Obviously, somebody's going to in a four-team playoff. Somebody's going to be left out. But and now the Big Ten this year, there are going to be some conversations, and there should be. There always should be refinement in looking at it. But from a Penn State-centered perspective, one of the main things I'm looking for is guidance around what we need to do from a non-conference schedule to put ourselves in the best position to be in the conversation, to be selected for the CFP.
And what were those mixed signals?
I just think in the last couple of years, I think the first 2 years they were fairly consistent. Let's also not forget, this committee is turning over. I don't think the number is even and set the same every year. I think there are 6 members going off of this committee at the end of this year. So that'll be some pretty significant turnover. They have guidelines, but obviously those are different people in the room. The committee makeup is different. I think the first couple of years, the signal was probably around strength of schedule. I think these last 2, that's been a little more iffy.